You're a Millie.
Yeah,
Hopefully you are the Millie.
Any other Millies want to talk? Or?
No, I think it's you, mate. No, I said
Kind of regretting this a tiny bit.
I said before no delegation, so here you are.
Yeah, fair enough. So, I just wanted to come with a jarring shift of tone. There's been a lot of beautiful, powerful energy here tonight, and a lot of like sadness with this, you know, and a lot of, you know, being trans can be very difficult. I just want to give a little dumb story, and that might help change the energy a little bit. So, I wrote this on the fly. Let's see. So my transition from the beginning has been marked by a lot of poor estimations. I've feared the worst, and I've charged full force at problems only to find them topple over before me with little resistance, while being blindsided by insurmountable challenges that seemed like nothing beforehand. And I'd like to share a small anecdote of my very first incident of public, active, unbridled transphobia, and how it shaped my view of my place in the current world and the current climate and those who would oppose me. After finally accepting myself at 24, I had begun to shift my fear about my own identity and who I was to an agoraphobia, a fear of what those around me would think. I began to accept myself, and I understood where I sat in this world, but I was afraid that people wouldn't let me sit in it. So after shutting myself away for way too long, trying to become perfect as a trans person, yeah, how well that went, I pulled together the courage to go out to something that seemed, you know, huge at the time, but going out for drinks with some friends, something I used to do all the time, go out with the boys, you know. Still friends with that lot. They're a lovely crew. The one girl in the boys now. But yeah, no, I pulled together all my chutzpah and tried to go out and have a good night out of town, and I was tense. I felt like physically tense. Physically, I was pinging, like I was making eye contact with every stranger as I walked by on the street, just to read their reaction, to think, to try and get into their head for a moment and understand, you know, what do they see in me? What do they, you know, how do they view me? Do they accept me? Will they hurt me? You know, will they let me in? You know, will they let me in as a part of this world? And then it happened. I had my very first incident of just indiscriminate random transphobia. You know, we were walking down Hindley Street late in the night, and a bloke was sitting on a chair, you know, in front of one of the bars as we walked by, and like I locked eyes with him for just a moment, and he was ready. He was primed. He'd been waiting for this moment for his entire life. He saw a trans person in the flesh, and he was ready to unleash his whole anger, whole wit on me, you know? And he went, "Hey! I hope you have a bad night." That's fucking it. Like, that's all you've got to say. Like, it'd been years. I'd never, like, oh, what's the first thing that's gonna happen to me? But, like, yeah. So when you feel like, you know, there's this insurmountable wall of, you know, hatred and transphobia out there for you, remember that that wall is made up of people like that fucking guy. That's all. Thank you.
That's too good, Millie. I think you and I should join forces, not me, because I don't know this, but you should do a thing where you convince people to love trans people because we're funny. Because it's really funny.
It's my only angle in.
Yeah, totally. I love dumb stories. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm pretty dumb.